So welcome to another video. I've been getting a lot of questions on Facebook and some of the forums, just asking what I've done to my bike, where I got my parts. So I wanted to do a build breakdown. We'll just kind of go over all the parts that I put on it so far, maybe some of the issues I've had with some and what I want to do in the future. So we'll kind of start from the front and work our way back. So first thing, I have a Tusk front rear tire, or front tire. These come off Mini Motos, so both my front and rear are Tusk tires. The front is actually a stock rim, and the tire is a Tusk T35. Size is a 70 by 100 by 19. So I run a 19 by 16 setup. Much better in stock. It's quite a bit wider, if you can tell. Even inside the Fox 40s, it's pretty big. A lot of grip out here. I do nothing but off-road riding. Out where I ride here is nothing but giant hill climbs and stuff like that. So really good traction out here, much better than the stock. They almost feel like giant mountain bike tires, where this feels more like a motocross tire. Moving on, then we got the Fox 40s. My last video I kind of went over my Fox 40s, but they work really well for this kind of terrain. I would highly recommend them if you do a lot of off-road, but if you're mainly doing street riding, you don't really need them. Like, my RSTs were fine on the street, but I ride nothing but off-road, so definitely a big upgrade from stock. Arms are a lot less worn out from some of these tough rides. You can definitely tell a difference. I don't really bottom them out too much, so they do pretty well. Moving up, brakes, I got the Hope Tech 4s, V4s. They work fantastically. I have stock rotor setups, and a lot of people ask me why I'm not running the Hopes. The stocks are doing just fine. They get a little bit hot, especially when I'm coming down these hills. The good thing about the Hope Tech 4s, you can one finger brake the whole time, and you still get that resolution even when they start getting hot. I'm assuming if I got the Hope Tech floating rotors, it might be a little bit better, but honestly, I'm not disappointed right now. So until I need to upgrade more, I'm not going to. I'm still running the stock pads. They look like they got a little bit of life left in them, but I don't know how long they'll last. So I've got maybe 50 miles on them. So as we go along farther, we'll see how long they last, and I'll kind of give an update on that. Grips, half waffle. I think they're ODIs. Super grippy. I'm going to give some of these away on my channel. I have some parts that I didn't put on this bike that I want to give away, so I'll give it away at the end of this video to someone who comments something good. We'll go over that at the end. I have an RSX direct mount stem that's hooked up to some Deity risers. I forget the riser length on this. I'll post links in the description of everything I have. I'm 6 foot tall, so it really helps it feel like a much bigger bike than it is. Everyone probably knows, but and I think I have the 30mm riser that's on these direct stems. These are cheap, they look good, and they do fantastic. I have a Resse Racing drop crown. That's the only thing I did to install my Fox 40s. So if you're curious on what you need to do to install Fox 40s, you can get different headsets, but the Crank Creek is probably worse than this needle bearing headset. So I'm running the stock headset with just a drop crown to keep the 40s on there. We'll move into kind of the graphics. Everyone asks where I get my graphics. So it's Kutvik America, I think. They're out of Canada. That's where I got them from. They have different designs. I picked the color scheme to kind of match the theme of the bike. So I really like it. You can customize their graphics. It's their style with the colors that I picked. So if you're looking for that, I'll put the link down in the bottom, and you guys can check them out. You can customize everything. You can get rid of their logo, but I was figuring I'd just keep their logo on. Moving into the controller. So I'm running a Motoclops tune. It's a BAC 4000. It's their Motoclops. I'm not sure what this mount's called. It's a little heat sink, but my controller doesn't get extremely hot, so it's not a big deal for me. But I went with the 4000 because the 8000 is not really necessary on this bike. So this motor can only take so much. So the biggest complaint I have is how much heat the motor can take. If you're doing street riding, not a lot of full throttle, you might be fine. But up these hill climbs, I can heat up that motor really quick, especially with the battery I have. So I went with the 4000, and I'm still looking at maybe if KO releases a motor, maybe I'll go to their motor and keep the BAC 4000 to see if I can get the heat down. I really don't want to buy a whole new setup with their controller, but we'll see how that goes. For batteries, Chi. I'm sorry if you're watching Chai battery, but yeah, Chai or Chi. I have a 60 max Gladiator 60 volt. I think it could do like something like 33 kilowatts, so it'll out handle what the motor can do. I run at 14 kilowatts if you're wondering what I normally run at. So I run 14 kilowatts, but it's a 60 max. I can pretty much ride here all day and not have to worry about range anxiety since I've went to a bigger battery. It is a little heavier. You're going to notice that. If you don't have the power, you're going to notice if you get a extended battery like this or something that's a little bit bigger. But not having any kind of range anxiety and just being able to ride and ride, not worrying about it is great. Like I can go anywhere. I think this is 1,500, 2,000 acres, something like that, like 190 miles of trails. I'm worn out before the bike is, so that's something that's really good to have. And I'm talking hard riding. If you know, I'll do a little ride here later, but if you've seen some of my videos, you know the kind of riding I do. I got a DB 420 chain kit. I don't want to get stuck, so I run a DB 420. Keep it lubed. It is a little bit louder. If you're out doing motocross or, you know, hard trail riding, you're not really going to notice it, but you're going to love that you don't have to worry about belt breaking. I just didn't want to risk it. A little bit louder, not a really big deal. Listen to my last video on the Fox 40s as I'm climbing a hill. You can hear how loud it screams when you're really getting on it. Warp 9. I got a Warp 9 triangle with the 1.5 inch linkage riser. Because I went with the smaller rear, I wanted to kick the back up just a little bit. A lot of people say you have to run a 19 to get that. No, if you have a 16, you can run it, especially if you're a taller guy, you know, 6 feet and above. You probably want to get that extended linkage. I haven't had any problems. This is the V2, and I do a lot of big jumps, a lot of heavy riding. This is rocky terrain, so no issues for me. Really like it. I do have a Kenny Waba pedal kit when I was trying to, you know, kind of keep it street legal. It's the actual pedal one, but I don't use the pedals anymore. But I had it on there when I was doing some street riding just to kind of look legal. But now I just really take it out to parks. I have Flo Foot Pegs, so these are expensive. These are the RMZ 250, I believe they're from. So if you're looking for some that fit, you just have to cut down a little bit in here and they squeeze right in. These are like $180. They're a little bit pricey, but they're probably one of the best like foot pegs you can get. You can get them in any color. This is the, I forget what they call it, flame or something. It's kind of like a multicolor. Just looks real good on the bike, kind of matches the theme. It has a little bit of yellow to it, which I like. Just a cheap rear fender. I think I got it from Amazon or eBay. Just kicks out a little bit better, stops me from getting so much stuff on my back while I'm riding. As we move into the back, so I got a Tusk rear tire, super fat. This is off a Mini Moto. Charge Cycle Works, shout out to them. They're the ones who built it for me. It's a Tusk impact rear. I believe the tire size, it's a 90-116. And I have that tied off with a Warp 9 54-2 sprocket, and I'm running their a little bit loose today. I'm running their O-ring-less chain, like no O-ring chain, a little bit smoother. As long as you keep it lubed, you're good to go. So don't worry about snapping it or breaking it or last long. I lube my chain every time I go riding, so as long as you're doing that, you're good to go. Last couple of things. So Thrill Seeker seat, super cheap. They're like 60, 70 bucks, somewhere around there. They'll make any custom colors you want. I've built one to kind of fit this theme of the bike, and I think it turned out really good. So that is everything that I've done. I'll post the prices. I haven't even looked at how much I spent, but I'll post the prices of everything down below, kind of what we spent, and I'll put it at a little clip at the end of this video. I have some Prickly Motorsports parts that I want to give away at the end of this video, along with some extra grips that I had. So if you throw a good comment on this video, I'll go ahead and give that away to one of the people that does. I only have like 120 subscribers, so someone lucky, you got a pretty good chance. Just throw me a funny comment or something, and I'll make sure you get a chance at winning one of the extra parts that I'm not going to put on this, and then I'll put that on the other part, because I ordered 2 of them when I get back home. So that's the build breakdown. If you have any questions, reach out. If you want to know where I sourced everything, I'll try and put all the links down below. A lot of people ask about the Hope Tech 4s. I'll put the link of where I got them. They restock pretty regularly. So that's my bike, 14 kilowatts. Now I'm going to go do some trail riding. We'll take you along. All right, let's go. Yeah. Alright, so if you made it this far, I got a little giveaway. It's just a Prickly Motorsports motor cover and the ODI Grips. I had some extras that I wanted to give out. So if you subscribe to my channel, if you throw me a comment, say something funny, whatever, I'm going to pick a random person to give these away. And then I got one more thing to give away. If someone has an older set of Fox 40s, I got a Resse Racing drop crown. It's for older versions, so if you're a 2020, I think below 2020 year, and you need a drop crown, let me know. First one to respond saying they want this, I'm shipping it to you. It's a $150 part. The others, throw me a comment, throw me a subscribe. I'm going to pick someone and send these over to you. Thanks for watching.